I'm planning to run Australia's toughest 100km race. Oscar's 100k, or the Hut to Hut, covers some of the most rugged and challenging terrain in the Victorian Alps. 10 peaks are summited, over 100k's with 5,800 meters of elevation gain. All of this is difficult enough before you consider that this must be completed under a maximum time of 24 hours. You must also reach a series of checkpoints along the way before certain cutoff times, or you risk being pulled from the race and receiving a did not finish or a DNF. About 20 to 30 people complete this race every year, and this is a group that I'm hoping to join. Oscars 100 raises funds for autism awareness and early intervention programs in regional and metro Victoria. This includes sibling support programs, nature-based adventures, and social events. I plan on fundraising for this event, and I'll share more information once I've entered. Why am I entering this race? There are plenty of platitudes to offer here. For the challenge, to quote Mallory, because it's there, because I can, or for the cause. To be honest, I'm not quite sure why I feel so pulled to do this. I'm not so sure anyone knows why they decide to do a lot of things. I first saw this event a few months ago and I was intrigued. I'd only been running maybe 10 to 20Ks a week at that time, and I just started consistently running on trails. It seemed like an insane thing to do at the time, and I certainly hadn't considered doing it myself. A few weeks ago, a Bo Miles video attempting this race appeared in my feed, and I watched it. I was once again interested. I've now been training for a couple months, and a trail marathon with some elevation no longer feels like a maybe to me. It feels like something that I definitely can do, even if I have to walk. 100 kilometers, this 100 kilometers still feels out there to me, but just maybe within my future capability. I guess I kind of feel like if it's possible, why not try? People tell me I'm young, I have time to do things that I want to. I don't necessarily feel that way. I feel like there are things that we all dream of and push out into the future as something for then. This feels like one of those things to me, something I'd fantasize about doing, but never do it and leave it as a fantasy. This event, or an event like this, feels like something I'm pulled towards. The challenge, the beauty of the challenge. At the same time, I don't want this to become a restrictive drag, an obsession. One where I'm miserable doing all the necessary training, but feel I have to do it for some grand goal or end state. To achieve anything this difficult, of course, there are going to be training sessions I don't necessarily want to do, but the majority of them need to stay enjoyable. Otherwise, I think I'd be missing out on the whole point. This event is intense. It's difficult. You can't just jump off the couch and expect to finish it. I've been training for about 3 months, and I've got 4 more months of training before Oscars 100. I'll sign up for the event if I can get through another couple months without major injury, and if I hit landmarks that I've set for myself. I've completed a 25k trail run in August, and at the time this video comes out, I'll be completing my first trail marathon in the next day or two. I intend to enter the 64km Bogong to Hotham 3,500 meter elevation run in January. This is a major test to determine if completing Oscars 100 is in my reach. If I can finish this event in under 12 hours, I believe the Oscars 100 is possible. Prior, I'm also planning to hike the Oscars 100 route over 4 nights, some minor alterations that make sense for an overnight hiking trip. I'm also looking at some form of mountain boot camp, doing some trail runs and hikes over a period of days. Beyond the more headline training milestones and major events, my everyday and weekly training has looked something like the following. 3 resistance training sessions per week, upper, lower, and full body split for about 45 minutes to 60 minutes each. 1 threshold or interval style run for about 25 minutes or 5Ks, and 1 hilly trail run, which started at about 7Ks and has built up to 25Ks. Also done 2 zone 2 runs, 1 starting around 5Ks and building up to 10, 1 starting at 10 and building up to 15 in theory. In practice, I got up to more like 8 and 12Ks respectively, before the load was getting a little bit too much, a little bit too quickly. I've also done 1 hike, and I play basketball 2 times a week. That hike was meant to be hilly and contribute quite significantly to my training. In practice, it was more like a stroll with Amy and Bonnie, but maybe it gave me a little bit of an extra boost. and my weekly distances have been around 50Ks for this training block. My future training will stay similar to what's happened before, with staples staying the same, with some tweaks around the edges based on what I've experienced so far and the races that I want to enter. The 3 resistance training sessions per week will stay as they are, upper, lower, full body, with some tweaks around some of the leg exercise to focus on more specific needs like lower leg stability. The threshold or interval session will stay, with more intervals added over time. Faster running isn't super specific to ultramarathon running, but I feel like the improvements to my VO2 max have been helping. The hike with Bonnie and Amy will stay as well. I don't think it really contributes to my overall fitness at this point, but once again, the purpose is to enjoy training. The major change will occur around my zone 2 runs and my trail run. Because this hike isn't as helpful as I'd thought towards my training, I need more time in the hills. I'm going to switch one of these zone 2 runs to an additional trail run, and I'm going to structure the 2 trail runs now as one longer zone 2 target run over 20 to 30Ks and one shorter run around 10 to 15Ks, pushing it a bit harder up the hills. In my peak weeks, I expect my total weekly distances to be around 70Ks. Also been trimming down my weight, both because it'll make every step just a bit easier and for vanity reasons. I finished up a period of lifting a lot and gaining weight in July at about 83.5 kilos. From this point until Christmas, I will have had 2 6-week fat loss phases, aiming to lose about 3 to 4 kilos each time. I've tried to time these phases to allow myself a period of maintenance before and after races to allow extra recovery. Hopefully this will leave me around 76 kilos or so around Christmas time and give me the best balance of being light while maintaining muscle. This plan also gives me 2 months of maintenance before Oscar's 100 to recover properly, and also lets me relax during Christmas time. So there you have it. I'm training for Australia's toughest 100km race. Oscar's 100 is a beast. I'm hoping it's also beautiful. It's something I feel pulled towards, something I must experience. I think it was Mike Tyson that said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I've shared you my plan. If you want to see how I go, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting videos of my major training milestones and events, including my first trail marathon, the Great Ocean Trail Ultra, in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.